Sunday fam, welcome back to another video. This video, we are going to be talking about Arthur Chen's, the reason he didn't do Evernight 2.
Yes.
Legend of Awakening.
Hey! Legend of Awakening. I had such high hopes for this show. I still do. I think it is still kind of building up to, or ramping up to it being this epic story that I'm still waiting for. But for the most part, I think it's an enjoyable watch.
Yeah, so to get the negatives out of the way, there's a lot of missed opportunities in the storytelling department for this show. In particular, the fact that there's no, slow reveal with the protagonist's power, and this isn't really a spoiler to the synopsis, but instead of kind of having the protagonist discover that they have a power like Naruto and all of the protagonists throughout history, he kind of just knows and is just yeah, I have this power. And so that to me took a little bit away from the storytelling aspect. And of course the main negative of this show for me, you're kind of just dropped right in the middle of this cultivation world without any kind of setup whatsoever. They talk briefly about its concepts, like the forces or the soul powers or the pneumas, whichever translation you're using, whichever subtitles you're using. And it's based on speed, strength, mind, vision, hearing, smell, and all of these senses. And what I appreciated the most about Evernight is that we were kind of embroiled in that cultivation world. We were brought through each level of mastery and what it took for each level to be broken through. And in this one, people are breaking through left and right, and it's just I just broke through. That's it. I just broke through. And while I won't do a one-on-one comparison to Evernight, this is leaps and bounds not Evernight, but what I will
not even close.
what I will say is that it is so paced where it is an enjoyable watch. You're kind of just going from episode to episode just to see the story unfold.
Yeah, and unfortunately, from the things that you've been highlighting, there are some really cool factors about this show. One is that there's this Naruto-esque adventure. You mentioned Naruto, but just the way the show is paced out, you're going through episode after episode. There's these quirks, there's these fun filler type moments of the show and the episodes, and there's these characters that you can relate to and are attracted to, and it has the sense of Naruto, the orphan child who is Lu Piang, the main character of our story, Arthur Chen, the reason why he didn't do Evernight 2, which totally sucks, but whatever. He has this charisma, this playful charisma, and almost this orphan underdog kind of story, and you kind of root for him, and you try to find out what the origins of this mystery, which you pointed out was not really much of a mystery at all, because they lay it out for you out in the open right off the bat.
And to that point, it's the setup in the beginning of this show is that there's this huge legend about awakeners, right? And in the first episode, I'm an awakener. And they're missing this moment where he's in a dire pinch, right? He's in an emergency situation, and there's no explosion, right? He just knows that he has this power from the start.
And the mystery, the mysterious part of it all is that his powers are locked. Yes. Right, and he has to find a way to unlock them because there's this evil gang lurking in the shadows that's kind of creating all this chaos for the empire, or the many empires that's in this fantastical Chinese world. I believe it's all still kind of the same states and the same places of historical China.
It's different sects and stuff like that.
Different sects, different institutes. So he's part of this Windtaker Institute. Then he goes on to, in this grand adventure. I will say though, the action, when I first saw the initial burst of action, I thought this was gonna be whoa. I was this is totally cool. And those are some of the saving graces of this show.
Absolutely. And of course, I want to point out about these shows that we've been watching recently is that they always contain a pop star that we fall in love with.
Oh, I love this part.
My Country was Sol Yun from AOA.
Hey, Jay.
Yes, and you know we have now Cheng Xiao, who is part of Cosmic Girls. Okay.
Who is Chen Sang in
Yeah,
this
who's
one.
Chin Sang, and of course we fall in love with these girls, and
Yeah.
that's just like one of those charming points of the show.
I had no idea. I mean, she's this Chinese actor or actress that is also part of a K-pop group.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
so-
crossovers, I guess.
Yeah, so like the interesting part about like the entertainment companies from Southeast Asia is that they always collaborate, right? So she's from Yuhua, which in turn like collaborates with another K-pop entertainment company, and then they interchange with each other, right? So they have a K-pop girl group, and then they have their Chinese films and stuff like that, and I don't know how it all works.
Hey, more
but
power
it's
to
just-
them,
yeah.
but there's a lot of crossover. Like, the more we get to see these stars kind of evolve, I guess it's very easy. I mean, Arthur Chan himself was like kind of like a Chinese singer, pop star, or whatever. Don't know much about him, but all we know is that these characters show up in this show, and Chen Sang is adorable. Not only is she powerful, she's beautiful, but she's adorable. It's like her delivery with her chemistry with Arthur Chen on screen and the other characters, it's like cute, powerful, and like there's just this combination where like you're just like glued to the screen paying attention to what she does.
Now, as much as we're saying this is not an Evernight, what it does do is it builds upon the Evernight feeling of addicting songs that you'll familiarize yourself with as they keep playing. Specifically, Chin Sang's theme that always plays whenever she's on screen, and you know it's her. And like every time I watch a new episode, I'm like singing along with the intro. And you know, that's one part of the show that is redeeming at the least.
Well, that song is also very much like Naruto. Like
Yes.
every time there's an action sequence happening, there's that song. Is like you'll check it out.
哎，大师兄，有诈！
But at the end of the day, this show is an enjoyable watch. You can kind of like enjoy it casually and sit down and watch it. The episodes aren't that long, whereas opposed to like something like Evernight or The Untamed, you have to kind of engross yourself in it and just pay attention 100%. This one is very relaxed, very casual, and you can enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. It's on air right now. It's up to like about 30 episodes. You can watch it on Viki Rakuten.
Or iQIYI.
Or iQIYI. Well, once again, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Leave us a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for being part of a community. We'll see you next time.